yes, we are doing another NBA redrafting video because today is actually the NBA draft for 2021. But 10 years ago, there was another really good draft in 2011, and we are going to redraft that draft class. It was a very, very, very talented draft class, at least very important, at least in today's history, I think, in today's era. It should be a lot of fun, so make sure you slap a like on tonight's video if you watched tonight's draft, and if anything crazy happened. Obviously, I'm filming this in the past, so hopefully something really fun happened, and make sure you comment down below maybe some other really cool draft classes I can redraft, or maybe just comment down below what happened in tonight's draft. I think that would also be really cool. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. By the way, thank you guys so much for 7,000 subscribers. Holy cow. I am still doing a giveaway at 7.5k, 500 subs off, so make sure you guys get in before that goes out, and then obviously doing a 10k giveaway, so should be a lot of fun. And yeah, with that being said, we are just going to, I guess, jump right into tonight's video. Alrighty, so with the, I guess, top 10, I always do these in top 10. We're just going to go over a lot of the players that went on in the 2011 NBA draft. And I think with the number 10 pick, if I can see, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was the Milwaukee Bucks, and this was actually Jimmer Fredette. Yes, Jimmer Fredette got picked number 10, which is totally crazy to think about. This was the draft class with Jimmer Fredette in it, but number 10. We have here, at least in my opinion, in the past couple years, a very good role player, and I feel like definitely maybe someone underrated. He's a little older, even though he hasn't really been in the league for all that long of a time, but I will have to say Bojan. Let's see if I can fit this in there. B-O-G-D-A-N. Oh god. I'm not gonna be able to fit it. B-I-E-C. Bojan Bogdanovic at number 10. Now I know, not a sort of crazy starter in today's NBA, but still a starter, and even if he wasn't a starter, he'd easily be one of the best players coming off the bench. Over the past 3 years, he's averaged over, I think, 17 points per game. Obviously a big contributor to the big success that the Utah Jazz had in their previous year, but not only that, I feel like for the past couple of seasons, he's been a very underrated defender, a very good perimeter shooter, shooting close to around 40% from 3 his entire career, which is obviously what the NBA today is all about. So he's a good defender, he's a good shooter. Even his, his ball handling isn't all that bad. I feel like Bojan Bogdanovic at 10 is an actually pretty okay pickup. Now, obviously, all of these players aren't going to be superstar type of players, but we will get to them nonetheless. But yeah, number 10, Bojan Bogdanovic. At number 9 here, also that was the that was the Kings. What pick was that? I actually don't remember. It was Jimmer. Oh yeah, it was the Milwaukee Bucks pick, was Jimmer Fredette. This next pick at number 9 here. Let's give us a little bit more room this time. Sorry, that was a really bad 9 for some reason. I don't know why I wrote it like that. At number 9, we have the Charlotte Bobcats. Back in the day, they were still the Bobcats, and this could be very controversial and maybe upset some people, but with a lot of context with this pickup, this guy could easily be, even a higher pick, maybe even a number 6 pick, even if you want to raise him that high. But for me personally, Isaiah Thomas. Yes, Isaiah Thomas. Even though at one point in time he was an MVP candidate. Yes, I do know that. I'm not a casual. I know. At least I like to think I know what I'm talking about. But even though, like I said, Isaiah Thomas was an MVP candidate, he was the focal point if he was just on a good regular team where he wasn't the number one focal point every play, how good of a player he could have really been. Obviously, we saw in Phoenix, in Sacramento, pre-injury, pre-MVP candidate, Isaiah Thomas was obviously a great player, but I mean, jeez, man. After that sort of MVP season, we saw the big downfall of Isaiah Thomas, obviously, but I don't know. I mean, obviously his size, you still have to take that into some sort of expectancy, and then also his three-point shooting on his career is still only 36%, which is anything super crazy, only averaging under 5 assists in his entire career as well, so he is a really good player. Obviously, like I said, when he is the focal point of an offense, he is an amazing player. Again, 28 points per game, MVP candidate, super awesome, I love that, but as a whole NBA player, I just don't know how good Isaiah Thomas could have been if, let's say, he was still healthy and then still went to Cleveland. If even a prime Isaiah Thomas played with that Cavs team, how good would he have actually been? I have no idea. I just know from what I've seen, he is a good player, but MVP when he is the focal point of an offense, I guess you can say. Alrighty, so up next at number 8, again, very, 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 very controversial, but you guys know I love being controversial on my channel. It gives you guys the whole little excitement, I guess. I am going to pick up a player that is, at least in my opinion, a very consistent NBA player, and has been at least for the past couple years, and I think I'm already regretting this. I probably should make Isaiah Thomas 8, but I already wrote him down. Maybe I should put him up a little bit higher, but at number 8, I think just for consistency wise, I'm going to pick up Jonas Valanciunas at 8. Now again, hear me out. I just feel like as a team player, he fills that role so well as a team player. I just feel like he could really fit on literally any NBA team, any play style. He plays up and down very well. And take this, he shoots 36% from the three-point line. Sure, only averaging about 13 points and 10 rebounds throughout his entire career, but also a 56%. Actually, probably, if you want to round it up, 57% on his field goal percentage, which is absolutely amazing. I just feel like Valanciunas is such a solid NBA player, and again, that sort of like consistency throughout his entire year. I feel like that consistency is what really is putting him over for me over Isaiah Thomas, because obviously, again, Isaiah Thomas had a handful, maybe he only had 2-3 really good years in his career. Valanciunas, I feel, has always been a very solid sort of player, maybe not even a starter, but just a very good player at his role. Number 8, Valanciunas could be bad. I don't know. I'm kind of already regretting it. I probably should put Isaiah Thomas 8 and Valanciunas 9. I already see that being a problem. And coming up now at pick number 7, number 7, who originally in this NBA draft was pick number 19, so a very big jump. Very, very, very big jump as a player. And I feel like he also has made an extremely big jump the past couple seasons, definitely, with his proficiency and how he's been shooting, his effectiveness on the court, and definitely he's getting paid, and definitely in that type of way. At number 7, I'm going to pick up I think he was a potential All-Star. I don't think he's ever made an All-Star appearance yet. And Tobias Harris. Yes, Tobias Harris, or just Toby to a lot of people. Toby. Tobias Harris. Now, Tobias Harris, his career averages aren't anything super crazy at 16 points per game, 37% from 3, 6 rebounds. I just feel like Tobias Harris is definitely one of those players where I feel like over the past handful of seasons has definitely shown his worth. Definitely as a sort of third option for the Philadelphia 76ers, averaging 20 points, 7 rebounds in the past year, in the year 2020-2021, having a very effective and efficient year. Now again, can Tobias Harris be your number 1 go-to option? I don't think so. He was that with the LA Clippers and showed, again, being the most improved player, I think, that year, and also being some sort of an all-star snub that year. But I definitely feel like he is a very, 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 very solid NBA player, NBA Harris. Number 7, I feel like that's pretty good. I feel like he's definitely the sort of, the head and shoulder guy here in these next 3. I think definitely these guys you could probably argue for a spot here and there, but I think Tobias Harris is consistency throughout his entire career. I like it a lot. Tobias Harris, number 7. And now at number 6. Again, maybe another sort of head and shoulders pick in this year's draft. Definitely an all-star, finally. Getting into the more, all-star name type of guys. And you know what? These next 2 guys can actually get switched up. They can get flip-flopped for sure. Definitely just, pick your poison. I think this guy is definitely more consistent than pick number 5, but I think he still plays a major role in a lot of a team's franchise, and that is Nikola. That's how you spell it, right? Yep. Vucevic, U-C-E-V-I-C. Nikola Vucevic. Now, definitely a very solid NBA player, obviously averaging 17 points and 10 rebounds his entire career, 50% on field goal percentage as well. Definitely Vucevic is obviously being on the Orlando Magic most of his career, obviously being drafted originally to the Philadelphia 76ers, who had this pick, averaged last year 23 points per game and 12 rebounds. Holy cow. Like I said, definitely consistency-wise, I feel like he's always just been a very, very, very solid player. And could you really argue him over this next player? I think yes. Again, his entire career, definitely being in Orlando, being the number 1 option guy, it really shows that. I even have a lot of, I guess, promise for him being in Chicago now with Zach LaVine and whatever they do with that squad. I feel like he'll also be a very key member to that team if they do decide to keep him around. Definitely one of the best offensive big men in the game, that's for sure. And I don't know, I feel like he's always kind of snubbed out. Definitely, the past couple years when he's been in Orlando, I'm not even entirely sure if he's ever even been an all-star before, but I really like his game. I feel like he's a perfect spot for him right here, right now. But player number 5 is where we get a little interesting and a little controversial, I guess you could say. And the only reason why, and it's funny because the reason why I'm putting player 5 at number 5 is the same reason why I'm knocking off Isaiah Thomas, but there's going to be a reason for that. And at number 5, I have Kemba Walker at number 5. And again, Kemba Walker really making his name and being known for being the number 1 option and probably being the best player in the Charlotte's Hornets history as of right now, with obviously LaMelo Ball being there. And again, being the number 1 option on the team, being an undersized guard, sounding a lot like Isaiah Thomas, but again, longevity-wise, he was that for many, many, many years. And again, you can't have him not on the list, at least this high, because he's the best player in that franchise's history. He's shown for years he was a very elite point guard. Now again, obviously kind of like with Isaiah Thomas having some sort of a meltdown in a Celtic uniform, not really producing as we all thought he was going to, but I think he still did a pretty good job. Nonetheless, you can also just argue him for just what he did in Charlotte alone for being this high up, but his career stats, averaging 20 points per game, 5 assists, 36% from 3, 40% from the field, a very good, solid player, but even that, his peaks were so high. Oh my goodness, man. Kemba Walker is being argued as, maybe even a top 3, definitely a top 5 point guard when he was definitely feeling himself over there in Charlotte. I like Kemba here. You could maybe, again, argue Vucevic over Kemba, again, for longevity, consistency, things like that, but I think, at their peaks, their star power, Kemba was really there. So I think in like a draft scenario, you would just pick Kemba because his peak was just very high. Alright, now, if you don't know this draft all that well, this is where it gets really juicy. This is where we get to more of the cream of the crop, even though Isaiah Thomas is really good. Kemba Walker is great. Vucevic is really great. But at number 4, and even player 3, you could switch, and I could heater argument, but you'll see why I picked those other players. But at number 4, I gotta make these a little bit bigger so you can actually see. We have an amazing player, a really amazing player, one of the best two-way players, definitely of this generation. That should give you a hint already. That is Mr. Jimmy Butler himself. Jimmy Buckets, yes. Originally the 30th pick in the draft. Holy cow. Career averages of 17 points per game, 5 rebounds, and nearly 5 assists. Career on the three-point line, though, 33%. Not terrible, not great. But I think obviously we've seen Jimmy Butler at his peak, at his height, in those Miami Heat playoff games, and obviously in the NBA Finals going tit for tat, blow for blow with LeBron James. Triple-double finals, Jimmy. I miss that Jimmy Butler so much. I don't think we will ever get that Jimmy Butler ever again. That's why he's on a little bit of a decline in his career. You can always see that already, but definitely at his peak, one of the best. Maybe you could even argue before Kawhi really made that big jump before he hit his peak in San Antonio. Jimmy Butler may have been the best two-way player in the NBA at one point in time. You could definitely argue that. Definitely his days in Chicago were absolutely amazing. And then as a leader, a great leader. I mean, he took a franchise in Minnesota and took them to the promised land, at the playoffs, which is totally crazy. And just lost basically by a hair, a fraction of a second or I guess a defensive second against the Philadelphia 76ers with the Toronto Raptors. And I mean, Jimmy Butler probably could have been an NBA champion if Kawhi Leonard didn't hit that crazy shot. So every team he's been on some successful run, which is really great. I love Jimmy Butler, an amazing player. But I am going to put him under this other player at number 3, just because, again, I feel like this player's, I guess, history in the NBA might be a little bit more important, and is also a great two-way player, but does it a little bit differently, and I think he does it amazingly. And that is, let's see, make sure I don't spell this wrong, even though I don't think I could mess it up if I tried. Is Klay Thompson. Yes, 2 amazing two-way players, but I think I'm just going to give the edge to Klay. Not only because you could maybe argue Klay Thompson being the best three-point shooter of all time. He's probably not, but when he gets hot, he's definitely one of the most NBA Jam on fire type of players we have ever seen in the league's history. And also the reason why I put him over Jimmy, Klay Thompson could literally play on any team in NBA history and make that team 1,000,000 times better. His play style fits any team ever, and I love that about Klay Thompson. And again, being a great two-way player, a great on-ball defender, a great three-point shooter, a great scorer just in general. I think he plays his role very well. He's not a very egotistical guy. He knows his role. He knows he's a not a spot-up shooter, but he knows he is, the off-ball scorer next to, again, a great player in Steph Curry. But even then, Klay Thompson could easily, want his own team. He could go off and do this and that. I love Klay. Klay's one of the reasons why I still love those old Golden State Warriors teams back in the day when they were dominating. I mean, you could maybe argue Jimmy Butler over Klay Thompson. If you're a big Jimmy Butler fan, then sure, that's totally cool. But at least for me personally, just in NBA history, I feel like Klay Thompson's just a little bit more up there, I guess you could say. Now we're on to the top 2, and these top 2 guys are very good. Very, 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 very good. And I guess, I know I say this after every pick, you could definitely argue this guy over that guy or that guy over this guy. But again, just me personally, again, my opinion doesn't matter. It's doo-doo, it's poop, it doesn't matter, it's wrong. But I will say at number 2, I am going to put the guy who was originally number 1, and that is Mr. Kyrie Irving. Yes, thing you can really nag about Kyrie is just like his defensive capability, being a smaller guard. But even then, his competitiveness is really truly there. I mean, we saw that obviously in those 2016 finals. You know, having to guard and at least try to guard Steph Curry. You can see his competitiveness is there. Obviously, training a lot and looking really up to Kobe Bryant a lot in his career. You see that a lot in his game, his fadeaway shots, his back-to-basket game. Whenever he does do that, very, very, very good. Man, is there anything else I can say about it? I love Kyrie Irving. He's a great player. It does sort of suck what happened with him in the Boston Celtics. We all really thought that team was really going to go somewhere. It could have been even a title contending team, but him obviously in Brooklyn with KD and James Harden is amazing pairing as well. But player number one, man, it is really good. It is extremely good. And that player at number one, when we talk about Kyrie, the only thing you can nag on Kyrie is his defensive capability. Well, player number one has both offense and defense, and that's why I put him at number one. And that is Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard. Again, I love Kyrie. I understand Kyrie could be number one again, as he was in the original draft. Kawhi was originally number 15, but Kawhi Leonard, maybe besides Scottie Pippen, you could definitely argue Kawhi Leonard being the best two-way player in NBA history, because again, like Klay Thompson and Jimmy Butler being very good, Kawhi's defense is almost unmatched. Humongous hands, long reach, 6'7" to 6'8", big build, very strong, and he gets the job done on both offense and defense. Only averaging in his career though 19 points. You could really see that he didn't really get a very big offensive game until later on in his career, but when he got it, he hit the ground running with it. You know what I mean? Obviously, with the Spurs, you didn't really get a chance to see it, but in the last year, a year he was very hurt, not hurt. He averaged 25 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, which is totally crazy. Even then, you can really see his prime, obviously being with Toronto, winning a title with Toronto, basically carrying that team on his back. This dude could easily go out and get an MVP, averaging nearly 30 points per game. The shooting in Kawhi, the story on that is something I wish, a Jimmy Butler player could adapt to, but it obviously doesn't look like that's going to turn out to be. I don't know what else I could say. Kawhi Leonard, just this two-way capability. I mean, of course, he's not a leader like a Jimmy Butler player, but he definitely leads by example on the court, and that's what I do love about Kawhi. He's just a fun guy. I don't know. I feel like this list is very good. Yeah. So we have Kawhi number 1, Kyrie number 2, Klay 3, Jimmy Butler 4, Kemba Walker 5, Vucevic 6. I feel like those ones are very flippable. That's definitely arguable. Tobias Harris 7, Valanciunas 8, Isaiah Thomas 9. I think I probably should have flipped those. I feel like I'm disrespecting Isaiah Thomas when doing this, but again, I don't know. Number 10, we have Bojan Bogdanovic. Some other really good players in this draft. I mean, Tristan Thompson was in this draft class as well, but I feel like Tristan Thompson played his role very well, but I don't think he was really anything super duper crazy. There was also, the Morris brothers, the twin brothers, Reggie Jackson and his Cantor. Mirotic was also in this draft. If you remember Mirotic, he was a very solid player before he went overseas, but I feel like as the draft, as a top 10, this is not bad of a list, at least to me. Alright guys, that is going to be it for me. I'm so sorry about all the camera mishap and stuff. If you don't know, my mic is broken. I know I'm filming on my mic right now, but it is broken and I have to film a certain way, and it really messes up with my camera and my camera angle, so I do apologize. I need to save up and get a new one, so make sure you guys leave a like on tonight's video as well if you did watch the NBA draft. What else? Make sure you check out yesterday's video. I did more of a traditional ASMR roleplay video. It was really cool. We just talked a lot of sports. It was really fun. So, yeah, shout out to those people who were in the live stream tonight, or today, earlier today, before the draft started. You guys are awesome. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you again very, 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 very soon. Alright, guys.